There was a lot of bearishness yesterday with the employment numbers, right? Because they thought, people were actually thinking that because employment rose, I'm going to cover that, they think that Bitcoin is going to do worse and the economy is going to be have a lot of pressure on it because the Fed will have the green light to go ahead and raise interest rates and keep raising interest rates, right? People are thinking the Fed is going to be hawkish. Well, I got some information here that's going to probably change your mind, all right? That means change your mind in a much more bullish manner, right? We have 336,000 jobs that were added. Estimated job number was supposed to be like 150,000 jobs, right? They did way more than that. But here's what people are not saying about this job number. Please keep in mind, and I'm going to get into why this is so bullish. We have a couple tweets from EJ Antony on Twitter. What he was covering in his tweets, it said 22% of those jobs were government jobs, which means the private sector is going to have to pay those wages. And that is really hard on the economy as well, because you're probably going to have to raise the tax base to go ahead and do that, or print a bunch of currency, which is going to cause more inflation and so on. Moving on to his next tweet, he says, what kinds of jobs were added? That is a very good question, which not a lot of people thought about when they were freaking out and being bearish on Bitcoin. Entirely part-time was 151,000 jobs. So part-time, meaning they could have worked 1 hour, 2 hours, and then had another job working 2 or 3 hours or whatever. That's what they're saying, right? And they're presenting this to you as something very strong. Part-time jobs aren't that strong, okay, guys? Full-time jobs are, right? Now, we lost full-time jobs, 22,000 of them. The last 3 months have seen part-time jobs rise to 1.2 million, and while full-time jobs fell 700,000, most since the lockdowns. Double counting of multiple job holders were 123,000, so double counting, right? So just shows you that the economy is in absolute shambles, and the Fed Reserve is going to have to make a very important decision whether or not they need to keep raising interest rates or lower them, which is what I think is going to happen. Me and Arthur Hayes actually thinks that's going to happen as well, as I covered, I think it was last video. And that is really bullish for Bitcoin, because the more dovish the Fed Reserve is, the more risk on assets like Bitcoin and other coins in crypto land are going to skyrocket in price. Now, also, we have a perfect storm happening here. We have not only these job numbers coming in, but you also have the ETF, spot ETF coming in, and you also have the halving that is happening. So this is really bullish. Let's go over to Joe Rogan. So he says that Bitcoin is becoming a universal currency. Now, it's actually a money, it's not a currency, but that is really positive, because a lot of people are going to look up to him, and are going to feel like, oh, wait a second, maybe I should get into Bitcoin because it is safe now. That's just how most people work. That if they have an authority figure or a very famous person saying something positive about something, that gives them confirmation bias, and they go ahead and feel more comfortable buying that. Lastly, we have a great tweet from Crypto T. She says the US government will pay you 5% interest if you let them borrow money for 1 year. But the government has a budget of $2 trillion this year, and they've lost money every single year over the past 20 years. Where is that 5% coming from? Well, let me tell you, that is going to be printed out of thin air, which is going to cause more inflation, which is going to cause risk on assets to skyrocket, and so on. So, guys, this is why we've been constantly bullish, especially on our Learning Crypto. If you want to check us out, with our trade alerts, portfolio updates, and much, much more. A group of thousands of people. Check us down. The link is below at learningcrypto.com. And please like and subscribe. Talk to you soon.